So good morning, September 22nd, 2014. This is CISG113, Section 1, Information Security and Privacy. Today is date number 9 in week number 5. So let's get started. Good morning. Sorry, my voice is a little bit strong today because I'm still under the influence of a cold, but I'm recovering. Sorry for my voice. So very good morning, and this is day number 9, September the 22nd, not the 21st, I'm sorry. This is a typo mistake. And I'm so glad, as I have been observing over the weekend, that a lot of you have been working very hard to submit your work and to keep on doing your discussions over the peer discussion forum. And I'm so much encouraged by the hard work that all of you seems to be doing to get the work done. So tomorrow, not tomorrow, today, I was supposed to share with you the feedback, but when I checked the questionnaire, I guess only 15 of you have done it. So I extend the period of the questionnaire until the end of today. So what I would like you to do is to make sure you air your opinions, your feedback in the questionnaire. Towards the end of the questionnaire, I would say, what do you like the best on this class so far, and what do you think that has to be changed? And these are very important things you need to write, okay? And then a lot of you, when I check on the agree, disagree, strongly agree, agree, something like this, and I'm so much encouraged that some say strongly disagree, a lot of you say strongly agree, and in the same question, I can already see the kind of balancing out of the 10 to 15 students who said something. So I have to keep that in mind, and I'm going to share that data with you on Thursday, because once I got enough of your questionnaire responses, now you see that I have 40 students in this class, and so far I have not got over 20 yet, so I do not know the exact response, the trend. And so this is the time when you have to say something after you've done your work, okay? It's very difficult, it makes no sense, or whatever it is, okay? And the teacher does not teach us enough, or we have to do a lot of work. GE does not mean you have a lot of work, something like this, okay? I'm open, because every semester I would like to listen to your feedback and see, and we discuss about this, okay? But I do not want to run a class where there is nothing for you to learn systematically over the period of time. As a teacher, I'm not the kind of teacher who does not want to produce learning in my students, okay? If you spend time here picking up nothing on your own, it's my fault, okay? The design of the course and my attitude and the way that I try to help you learn is the most important thing, all right? So today, I just want to bring you back here. I have my teacher's message up already for today. But before we get into this week, which is week number 5, I just want to let you know that now you finished doing the submissions here, and you finished doing the student questionnaire by the end of today. Every one of you promised me, for those of you who have not done it. And then you can see that the assessment report is going to be here. I will start grading your work starting from today, okay? I will go one after the other. Now when you click on a link like this, you cannot see anybody's grade except your own, okay? This is a private channel. With all the respect of your privacy, your grade would not be revealed to any other. If you reveal it to your friends, it's your business, okay? It's not mine. But for me, if you click on each one of this link, you can see my feedback to your work and the score you obtain, all right? And then this is the score summary. Normally, it takes me 1 week to 10 days to get it done. Now you see that I do not just have your class, I have 3 other classes, 100 students. And you can count the number of things I have to do the grading on. So I must use the rubric very effectively, okay? So look for your grade here, on and off, okay? Just take some time to get them done. Now, let's get back to week number 5. Now, if you look at week number 5, according to the syllabus, the schedule said we're going to tackle 2 topics this week. One is called privacy and encryption. The other is called web attacks and intellect vulnerabilities. Okay? So if you look at day number 9, it's mostly on topic number 1. If you look at day number 10, topic number 2. But most importantly, you see that we're stepping into the second learning contracts already. The first 4 weeks are gone. This is for the first learning contract. And in the first learning contract, the theme is inquiry-based learning, IBL. Well, what is IBL all about? I asked you the question in the questionnaire. Even though you do not know the interpretations on your own, but a lot of you recount what you did, and it's very good. During IBL period of the first learning contract, many students in questionnaire said, we advise to select a topic. We advise to take notes of the topic based on the OIA format. O means observation, extracting things from it. I means asking questions of what we extract. And A means what does it mean to look at what we extract based on what we read. It's very good, all right? And then you discuss with your friends, come up with the perspective of your friends and your own. And then you try to write a report on that. Report must not be long, only 3 to 6 pages. But the final thing called a block is a summarizations or internalizations of my personal view on the topic that I studied for the past 4 weeks. So a lot of you understand from the questionnaires response that you know what you are doing. This is very important. You know what you're doing by following this step. And a lot of you will say, although I do not know exactly what is meant by IBL, but that is the IBL pattern I follow in this class. And I say, very good. That's what I mean. You have to learn. So when we step into the second learning contract, that is SRL. Is it something different from IBL? No. SRL is basically another way to look at the way you learn. But on top of IBL, which is very much focused on the topic, it also helps you to focus on the housekeeping of the study of your topic. What does it mean by housekeeping? Well, give you an example. I want to eat chicken, Mom. So you expect to come home dinner with chicken. But when your mom prepares chicken for you, your mom has to decide whether to go to the wet market to buy a live chicken cut directly that time, or go to buy a frozen chicken and do it. Now to decide whether or not you want a live chicken or frozen chicken is one important decision. Okay? Where to go to buy and what to buy. And then once you got the chicken, what kind of chicken you want to eat? The mom will ask you, oh, this son is like eat the bean soy chicken, so I need to buy a bean soy. Oh, bean soy does not make a lot of bean soy chicken. Today, when you go to Lei Gam Gate, they have bean soys for bean soy chicken. And that is very much specified for that. And you do bean soy for bean soy chicken with Lei Gam Gate's brand. Oh, I'm not going to do advertisement for that. You know that it's much better than if you use the San Tao Wang or whatever it is. It cannot be done. So, self-regulated learning tells us we need to set goals. We need to know the steps to make sure it works. We need to know the choices we have. We need to know how to pick something, stick to the plan, okay? And so if you read the teacher's message of today, I have divided, okay? Now, I must tell you that SRL is a big topic. Different professors will provide different interpretations, but for me, I think it's enough for you to know this, okay? I have expected, okay, or better say, I have intended for you to pick up 4 important areas of SRL. Now, do not try to ask another professor and see what this other professor is going to say of SRL and tells me what to do. Because I have selected SRL to include 1, 2, 3, 4, which is very much systematic following of the IBL. First of all, when I talk about SRL, you need to learn the housekeeping of SRL here involve 4 areas of task management. It's about a task you have to do, a task. Like you need to finish learning contract number 2. And what does it mean? That means, according to the teacher's syllabus, I have to produce, together with my learning partner and my team pair partner, a set of artifacts. Okay, task is to achieve things like this. So task management is, I need to manage my time, manage the manpower within my pair and within my team to get something done. That means to produce something. And if I remember correctly, the professor asked us to do IBL by selecting a topic. So I must select a topic this time again. I must do a journal, which means the OIA set of the notes.
I must get my partner involved to discuss about this, except for the fact that this time, beside my learning partner in my pair, I have 2 more partners in my team which belong to another pair. What does it mean? You need to look for your team pair, all right? You need to look for your team pair hopefully before the end of this week. I will give you some time. Invite individual pair to come here to introduce yourself, okay? So the first thing is task analysis. What I'm telling you is you need to put some thinking into what you need to do. Now, you need to put some thinking into what you need to do. Now, if at the end of a piece of work you still say, oh, after I hand in something, I don't even know what I do, congratulations. You're going to end up in your life not knowing what you're going to do. Okay? So task analysis is the ability for you to look into what you're supposed to do in order to achieve a particular goal. Ability to analyze, to understand what is required of you in the assignment, and determine what needs to be done. Very generally, right? Students are very smart. Whenever you give them something, they will ask you, what should I do? What should I produce? And how can I get a good grade with a minimum amount of efforts? This includes drawing up a timeline. Look at the time you have. In the first learning contract, you're 4 weeks. In the second learning contract, 3. Okay, from now to October 11th, 3. It's much more challenging. You have 1 week fewer than in the learning contract. But in terms of manpower, you have 2 times, right? In the first learning contract, you just have 2 persons disappear. But in the second learning contract, wow, I got another pair to work with us. So, principally speaking, the amount of work could be shared much more efficiently if each member in the team and if each pair in the team works out fine. What if it does not? Oh, okay. So the timeline means everybody understands how much time you have for doing something. Then you break the task into manageable parts. We cannot do it alone. I cannot do it alone, so we need to make sure, based on our experience in the first learning contract, what should we do to divide the number of jobs that we need to do in order to achieve the goals. What are the goals? Everybody wants to get an A as a goal, but in order to get an A, according to Rubik, I must get to this standard. I must produce artifacts of this time. So, as a framework, how do we work together as a team? Identify an audience. Who are we supposed to produce this set of artifacts for, right? So, if I produce a set of artifacts, just like a journal, and bring it to anybody who is not in this class, can that person, your friend, understand them and make sense of it? That needs information and or findings, and recognize the similarity to previous assignments. I've just given you all the similarity, except for the fact that 1 week less, but 2 times the manpower, do something similar, but this time we're getting into the core topics of this course. Okay, we're no longer in the common modules. Core topics, including this week, privacy, encryptions, internet vulnerabilities, web attack. Wow, much more knowledge-oriented. Okay. The second area, identifying resources. What do we have to get the job done? Oh, we have the teacher's reading list per week. We have the videos. We have Wikipedia. We learned from last week. We can have the library resources. We go there to get what we want. And plan our actions. What do we need to do now? We have 2 skills. Identify resources. Plan your actions. Very important. All right? So the first is your ability to identify the resources you could find at this university to help you complete the task. What is your task? What are your tasks? Including your self-knowledge already. You know something, but you do not know all that you need to get the job done. So you need to learn some skills. All right? And you have already watched the video that I give you in the second week of the the middle page, you know there is something called presentation skill, time management skill, influencing skill, project management skill, right? So the second here is develop a plan of actions. Do you have a plan of action? What does it mean? Suppose I'm a thinking person. I know that if I want to eat chicken tonight, the first thing I need to do is I have to inform my mother, because she is going to cook a chicken for me. Now, I want to eat chicken, but I never tell my mom what to eat. When I come home, I say, Mom, why don't you cook chicken for me? Your mom said, have you told me something about this? You should know that. Oh, good son. Okay, I said no. I cook the chicken for you. Dumb Mom, you never know what I want. Wow. I'm going to say something like this. Self-knowledge and skill. A plan of actions for completing the task based on the resources. Your resources, in terms of the son, is the mother is the greatest resources. Okay? Inform the mother. So what do you need to do? Inform your team member what they need to do. But who's in charge? No, no one is in charge of the team. You need a coordinator who should serve as the servant for all, not domineer. Okay? So you need to learn how to set roles in your team. Taking action based on planning consists of bringing together all the identified resources and execute a plan. Put things on the table. Everybody put something on the table. What do you have? Okay? What do we think that we should be doing in the second learning contract, since we have 4 persons in the team, and each of the 4 persons will have his or her own ideas and resources. I want to eat bean sauce chicken. No, I want to eat Portuguese chicken. No, I want to eat curry chicken. So what kind of chicken we want to eat? Execute a plan, come to consensus that could be acceptable by all. No one person should tell the other person what to do except by social negotiations. Okay? I hate this kind of team which is dominated by one person who thinks he knows everything without informing anybody what to do. Oh, no one likes you. You want to be appreciated, be respected. Okay? Executing the plan that has been developed, a variety of strategies you can use to meet the learning task goal. The process should be continuously monitored. What does it mean? Now you have 3 weeks time to get the second learning contract done. This is the first week. You might want to set 3 milestones by the end of this week. What do we need to accomplish by the end of the second week? What do we need to accomplish? And before the end of the last week, and when we have to submit something, what do we need to accomplish? What if we cannot accomplish what we want by the end of the first week or the second week? What kind of contingent step can we do to monitor, to change our action plan? That means you need some kind of evaluations, assessing actions, and revise the plans, very important. So after the task has been completed, that's also important for you to review what you have produced to see if they, the set of artifacts, could actually accomplish the goals set at the very beginning. Goal setting is the first step. At that time, the students should review the outcome and the effectiveness of the action plan. Reviewing means you reflect on the entire process to determine what a student might have learned individually, pairwise, as the whole team, about you yourself ability to handle things, the peers' ability to get things done, and the whole team's ability to galvanize the process of learning. A lot of practice, a lot of skills development, a lot of negotiation and discussions. So 1, 2, 3, 4, basically what does it mean? You need to know what you want to accomplish the goal. You need to know how much resources you have in terms of time, manpower. You need to make sure you have a plan of action. You need to know how to evaluate your actions based on the practical results obtained and change them. All right? So make sure you study with your learning partner and also your team peer these 4 important areas of task management. This is the goal for you to learn something in self-regulated learning. Of course, we'll get you some more information later. And kindly be reminded that I would like each one of you to complete a questionnaire for the first contract. You are providing me a lot of input to adapt to what you need, to the expectations you have. If you do not tell me, it's just like the son who want to have the chicken, but never tell the mom, dumb mom, and you're going to dumb teacher, don't you know what I need? Okay? So don't do that. Communicate, all right? It's very important. This is a very important chance for you to let me know. Everybody knows indeed, because I'm going to share that with the whole class. So in order to get on course to your success, I would like to give you some kind of very famous saying, and Dr. William Melvin, that's one, and this is the other, okay, Ashley Montague, very famous guy. He said the deepest personal defect suffered by human being is constituted by the difference between what one was capable of becoming and what one has in fact become. What does it mean? You know you have the ability to get an A, but the result is you got a D. What does it mean? In between there is a gap, all right? So who is making the gap, all right? So this is a deepest personal defect. It's not anybody who defeats you. It's a personal character. You have to change to succeed, all right? Better say you have to learn to succeed. So here is a very interesting, important reminder for successful students in any class of learning. Successful student has that personal responsibility. What does it mean? Seeing yourself as the primary cause of the outcome and experiences. If I want to get an A, I do what is required to get an A. All right? I will not say anything otherwise. I am true to myself. Successful students discover self-motivation. Don't tell somebody, I don't like anything. You can do something to make sure you make sense of something. What does it mean? You find purpose in your life by discovering personally meaningful goals and dreams. One thing I would like to remind you, and also often remind myself, is have I given my students enough freedom to choose what they need to know or what they want to know? Although under the confinement of course curriculum. So if I have not given freedom to my student to do that, I cannot expect them to do anything. So I need your input to tell me, do you feel that you have space of your choice in this class? And then you need to master self-management. This is the step in self-regulated learning. You need to manage yourself into doing something that you believe is meaningful, consistently planning and taking purposeful actions on your own in pursuit of your goals and dreams. All right? You don't say that I take this class because someone else decided for me. You always have a choice. All right? You do it on your own. If you do not take charge of your own life, it's very hard to imagine success. Finally, employ interdependency. You cannot do it alone. You will need the help of your fellow students, your learning partner, the teammate. So build mutually supportive relationships and help them one another achieve goals and dreams while helping others do the same. So if you want to ask me what is involved in self-regulated learning, this is a supplement, all right? This is a supplement. So spend some time thinking about this. And I've already kicked off the class participation score, 20% of the final 100% score. And I hope to make the best use of them. And by signing up in the public discussion forum last week, this week, and signing up in this week's public discussion forum next week, okay? The videos will be kept, and you need to keep a record of that, and you can earn 20% of 100% semester score. Don't come to me only by the end of the semester you want to earn the score when you have not actually done anything throughout the semester. I'm reminding you week after week that this is the time for you to do something to tell the whole class what you have learned. all right, based on the journal written. Okay, let's go back now to today's class. What we're going to do in today's class to introduce to you privacy and encryption is we want to provide some basic stories about online privacy to get you started. So the first story I'm going to share with you from CNN.
Sure. You know, if you think the photos and information you post on sites like Facebook and Twitter are safe, then CISG Missouri found privacy is dead, and what you post, even the innocent stuff, can end up hurting you.
Dick Hart put photos of his Hawaiian wedding on Facebook to share with close friends, but when he made mention of it on Twitter, he didn't know a link would be attached, giving more than 3,000 followers access to some rather intimate images.
We didn't think they were offensive in any way, but my wife didn't prefer for everybody to see those photos.
While his case was embarrassing, others are downright dangerous. Sarah Downey was horrified when a picture of her young daughter was hijacked from her Flickr account and used in a sexually suggestive Portuguese language profile on Orchid.com, a social networking site.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Downey posted a translation to warn other Flickr users, but then, she says, total strangers exploited the internet to find her phone number and, worse, her home address.
We would go to the grocery store and I'd wonder, has this person seen my daughter? Are they here, trying to find us, trying to, get close with my daughter?
Since then, Downey has tried to protect her private information. Has it worked? With her permission, we gave her name to Stephen Rambam, a private investigator who harvests information from the internet. In less than 90 seconds, he turns up 100 pages of possible links.
Frankly, anything you'd want to know about this young lady seems to be available on the web.
On sites like YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter, more and more Americans are making their private information public. Put it together with public documents like newspaper accounts and property records, and a portrait emerges. Take Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. Using free, publicly available information on the internet, a Fordham University Law School class came up with 15 pages of information, including Scalia's home address and phone number, even movies and foods he likes.
If we were willing to spend $100 for the project, we would have been able to acquire far more intrusive, far scarier information.
Private investigator Rambam says anytime you hit the send button, your information is no longer your own. He says your frequent flyer program, movie account, book purchases, even some searches can be tracked, stored, and sometimes sold.
I have a window into your soul. I know what you believe. I know what you think. I know who your family is. I know who your friends are. I know your politics.
Orchid.com says it has updated its policies and tools to find and remove fake profiles like the one of Sarah Downey's daughter. And Google says it gives customers the tools they need to protect their personal information. Many of us could be more careful. In addition, some privacy experts would like to see standardized and simplified website privacy policies or even government restrictions on secondhand use of private information.
Stephen Rambam sees a lot of positives to having so much information on the internet and says the genie is already out of the bottle.
10 years from now, you're going to have a choice of getting used to minimal privacy or subleasing the Unabomber's cabin. That's going to be your two choices. The fact of the matter is there's nowhere to hide.
As Rambam puts it, privacy is dead. Get over it. Gene Meserve, CNN, Washington.
And we are pushing forward now with the next hour of CNN Newsroom with T.
Okay, Gene Meserve is the reporter, correspondent of this piece of story. Now what I'm going to do, just like last week, I'm going to create a discussion thread in this week's public discussion forum, and I would like to put some thinking into the story we just watched, and spend 5 minutes time discussing which are learning popular, and then the two of you put in some ideas of what you can make of. I'm going to give you questions here. So share your thoughts and thoughts. Now you're free to talk at this point, okay? And I'm also going to do the roll calling in the meantime, all right? So talk to your partner, and in the meantime, look for feedback from your fellow peers. You need to name a team peer, hopefully by the end of this week, and the latest by next Monday, because you need to get started to do something for the second learning contract. The sooner, the better. All right? So allow me to prepare the roll call list now. Now feel free to raise questions, sure, okay? You can raise questions by responding to the forum so that everybody could follow up with you. It's a very convenient method to see what another's idea. Is it too quick? You can watch it again using your mobile devices, okay? You have your mobile devices, you can actually watch the same episode again and again. No one is going to stop you until you got some feelings about it. How did the story go? Where did it start? All right. So you can think a little bit about the story, just like watching a news program. Looks like when I have a cold, I don't even need to use a microphone. The voice sounds a bit stronger, but it's not good. I'm sorry for that. Helia, thank you. Prodia, not here yet. Ada, thank you. Andy, no. Andy, not here yet. That's it. All right. Ryan, thank you. Jenny, thank you. Jackie, thank you. White pen, thank you. Seat home, thank you. And then there's my phone, okay. Beatrice, thank you. Fish, thank you. Angela, okay, okay. Eureka, thank you. Vivian, thank you. Ruby, thank you. C, thank you. Okay. Elisa, thank you. And then Lotka, thank you. Stephen, thank you. Terrence, not here yet. All right. Winnie, thank you. All right. Tom, thank you. Dixon, thank you. Winnie Ho, thank you. Okay, I see you always have some sticker here. You hit your hand. Okay. Congrats. Recover soon. Gideon. All right. Grant, thank you. Michelle, thank you. Annie, no, thank you. Cindy, thank you. Neil, thank you. Ryan, now, Ryan, thank you. Lester, not here yet. Kelvin, thank you. Are you Lester? Yes. Okay, sorry for that. And then Kelvin is next, right? Thank you. Gaia, thank you. Hanson, thank you. Jessica, thank you. Zikian, thank you. All right, thank you. Iris, thank you. Thank you very much. Any person whose name has not been called. All right. Now, whenever we have new stuff coming to us, just like a story from CNN, it is not expected you know everything from the story because the correspondent put in a lot of meat within that 3.5 second 3.5 minutes. Okay, so whatever you can catch from the story and try to relate it to online privacy, and particularly the theme, privacy is there. How do you interpret that? All right. So it's a very interesting story to start our thinking. Yeah, let me get into it. Wow, that's very good. Ryan, let's get something. When you use Facebook, I suggest you can use Facebook private setting to protect your privacy. Excellent. Ryan, from you, right? Could you help us to sometimes when you come to do the sharing, share with us how to set the privacy setting for Facebook? I mean, everybody wants to know it. I tell you what, 3 years ago, I don't even know how to do it. And now it's simple, okay? Then earn some point. Thank you very much, Ryan. It's excellent. All right. Wait. It takes some time, all right? We have minutes to discuss with your learning partner so that we can learn something from one another's experience. The question is, what do you make of? That means, do you have anything to share that could make sense to you and your fellow students, okay? Privacy. We're talking about online privacy here, much more narrow the scope, because whenever we talk about privacy, it's online, okay? Here. Story from CNN, right? Do you have any experience to share with us? I think it's very, a lot of students will have experience. Particularly, if you do not know it, while you're riding on the bus, a lot of people will take pictures of you and upload your picture to some Facebook account and then distribute it around the world. And you don't even know that your picture stays on time. People use it. Oh, just the other day, many of you have, not last week, shared a story of identity theft, right? You share that, someone shared that, right? And sometimes when your identities has been stolen without your knowledge, people use it in a website that will confuse the people, put a lot of bad impressions on you, right? That is very detrimental in the internet era of security, information security and privacy. Let's see. Yes. Cindy said, I think that most of the people did not have the concept of information privacy. Now, especially teenagers. Now, this is a very important interpretation, but I think this is also based on a lot of observation. So we should tell more to them that let them know that all of us may be connected with identity theft. Yes, right, very good. And help them to protect themselves from that. Okay, you can try to get on quite a number of discussion group online when you do not need to have any particular membership, but they ask you to just fill in a form. Okay, and sometimes the form asks you something very personal information, and if you're not careful enough, you just write personal information, they will just capture your information and cast it out on you. Then they try to act on your behalf at some time, right? So it's a very interesting topic. Anything more? Let's see. Okay, we got more. Stephen said, privacy also that whenever protection, you can make promise. The social web creator don't want your information. That is very interesting point. Just like in the Facebook context. If you think, well, let's say social media content, if you think you just go onto any particular social networking site, submit your personal information, believe that it's going to be safe. Watch your game. I give you a story. This is a personal story. Last summer, not this past summer, last summer, I went to Hong Kong with my kids, and we love to see Hong Kong from a very high bar. So we go to 100 Hong Kong. You see 100, there's a very tall building. It's called 101, actually. And we think it's a good experience, and we believe it's also good experience. It was a good experience. But before we were allowed to get into the floor, after we pay the money, we were handed a number of forms, and we were asked to fill in the form. And then when I thought it's just as a nursery to just some declarations of health, because when you go up there, if you have some health problem, and whenever you have a heart attack and you didn't fill the form, it will be on their responsibility, right? And at first I thought it's something like this, but when I look at it very carefully, it's not for something like this. It's just a form which tells towards the end, you are willing to surrender your personal data here because you want to visit this tower, but for reasons of liability, you agree that your data submitted here will be used for the purpose of commercial use of this company. I say, gee, you're putting me as if a pig. I paid you money to come to visit the tower, and you asked me to fill a form, and in the form there's a term that I'm willing to surrender my personal information, and you can use my personal information to sell it for your monetary purpose. And I said, no, I'm not going to fill it. And then the guy said, no, our manager asks us that you have to fill it. I said, no, you ask the manager to come and talk with me. And I said, every term here you're violating my privacy rights. And then we negotiate for 10 minutes. And I said, sir, I'm sorry. If I do not look at the form very carefully, all of my family's members, ID number, address, phone number, would be surrendered. And you can watch it very carefully next time. Very interesting. Piracy is that a lot of the companies set up that kind of procedure and invite you to fill out the form and said you have to do it. And then after you've done it, they say, oh, because you're willing to do it, we don't ask you to do it. You sign for it. You see this kind of trap? So I think it's very good. There's something happening in the social web too. So, have you ever had experience like this in your life? Oh, for those of you who are on account, okay, 10 years ago, when you go to open a bank account, you need to submit your personal ID and they Xerox it for you. And they keep that ID for you. And sometimes you can easily stack up people's ID on the desk. You can easily put one and look at someone else's information. Now, do you think they dare to do that? Because in account with the Office of Privacy Act, they know all this personal information, they must handle with care. And after they use your ID, they must destroy it. This is very common in Hong Kong around the world. But only when the Office of Privacy Act was set up incrementally, government and not commercial organization understand when they check your ID after finishing the company without including your personal information. That is civilizations. Okay? Oh, but what about your story? That's it. Here we are. We got some more. So Manson said, we cannot only blame it on the social network. We also have the responsibility to protect our privacy. Oh, definitely. We should think before we upload something to the internet. Sure. Right? Remember when we talk about ethics, the 10 commandments of computer ethics, right? It's not on the other side all the time. You've got to be careful. If you have your wallets like this with a $5,000 notes reviewing to people, you are just inviting for a lot of the thieves, big pockets to come to you, right? So anything more? Let's see. Now, I want basically you discuss with your learning partner friend. The best way to protect your personal privacy is not to upload any information on the internet. Do you have a Facebook account? Or you use some pseudo information? Today, we can't use pseudo information on Facebook. And even Google. Oh, when you use YouTube, they need to use your real name. YouTube now, real name, okay? And again, sometimes we would like to share our happy moments online with friends, but when you post something online, you would never know who can see your photos and what would they do to your photos. This I suggest, do not post whatever you don't want the whole public to know. Just keep it a secret, share things I never post my family's photos on my Facebook. All the photos of my family member on my Facebook post attacked by some of my friends. Okay, I never say anything personal in my Facebook account. Okay, and normally I will if I need to have students on my Facebook, definitely not a lot of my personal account on the teachers' accounts. Now I think it's very good. I would like you to really talk to your learning partner this morning and see the two of you can come up with something that both of you will agree, and you can write something here on behalf of your parent. Okay, so when you write something, put down pair name, and then the two of you will know pair, and then some comments. All right. So this is very important exercise to enhance the communications of the two of you as a pair. So another 5 minutes that I would like the two of you in your pair to come up with something. Now, most importantly, read the story again. Let me play the story for you again. Okay, it's very important that you study it very carefully.
Sure. You know, if you think the photos and information you post on sites like Facebook and Twitter are safe, CISG Missouri found privacy is dead, and what you post, even the innocent stuff, can end up hurting you.
Dick Hart put photos of his Hawaiian wedding on Facebook to share with close friends, but when he made mention of it on Twitter, he didn't know a link would be attached, giving more than 3,000 followers access to some rather intimate images.
We didn't think they were offensive in any way, but my wife didn't prefer for everybody to see those photos.
While his case was embarrassing, others are downright dangerous. Sarah Downey was horrified when a picture of her young daughter was hijacked from her Flickr account and used in a sexually suggestive Portuguese language profile on Orchid.com, a social networking site.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Downey posted a translation to warn other Flickr users, but then, she says, total strangers exploited the internet to find her phone number and, worse, her home address.
We would go to the grocery store and I'd wonder, has this person seen my daughter? Are they here, trying to find us, trying to, get close with my daughter?
Since then, Downey has tried to protect her private information. Has it worked? With her permission, we gave her name to Stephen Rambam, a private investigator who harvests information from the internet. In less than 90 seconds, he turns up 100 pages of possible links.
Frankly, anything you'd want to know about this young lady seems to be available on the web.
On sites like YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter, more and more Americans are making their private information public. Put it together with public documents like newspaper accounts and property records, and a portrait emerges. Take Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. Using free, publicly available information on the internet, a Fordham University Law School class came up with 15 pages of information, including Scalia's home address and phone number, even movies and foods he likes.
If we were willing to spend $100 for the project, we would have been able to acquire far more intrusive, far scarier information.
Private investigator Rambam says anytime you hit the send button, your information is no longer your own. He says your frequent flyer program, movie account, book purchases, even some searches can be tracked, stored, and sometimes sold.
I have a window into your soul. I know what you believe. I know what you think. I know who your family is. I know who your friends are. I know your politics.
Orchid.com says it has updated its policies and tools to find and remove fake profiles like the one of Sarah Downey's daughter. And Google says it gives customers the tools they need to protect their personal information. Many of us could be more careful. In addition, some privacy experts would like to see standardized and simplified website privacy policies or even government restrictions on secondhand use of private information.
Stephen Rambam sees a lot of positives to having so much information on the internet and says the genie is already out of the bottle.
10 years from now, you're going to have a choice of getting used to minimal privacy or subleasing the Unabomber's cabin. That's going to be your two choices. The fact of the matter is there's nowhere to hide.
As Rambam puts it, privacy is dead. Get over it. Jean Meserve, CNN, Washington.
And we are pushing forward now with the next hour of CNN Newsroom with T.
Now, let me put it much more concretely for your pen to discuss with your time at home or outside this classroom. Do you agree that privacy is there? When we talk about privacy, this said is online privacy. Now, you must have a position first, individually. If you agree, yes, I agree privacy is there, then you need to provide an argument for that because of your personal experience, such as, okay, or if you believe privacy is not there yet, because you need to provide some kind of arguments, okay? And the argument could best be shaped in terms of daily, lively examples. In the news story here, Gina Sir have given us quite a number of examples. And the heartbreaking example is a little daughter, 5 years old, whose picture was stolen by some kind of hacker who want to make fun of her. And the little girl's picture and a name and private information was posted on those websites for child pornography. And do you know what's going to happen? Many child pedophiles are going to look to this little girl and do everything they could to connect with her, whether it's in business. All right? So this is a big hurt to the little girl, privacy, the family, a lot of stress. So what have they done? Nothing. So you have to be very careful about this. And then any other example. So when we come to the discussion, use our learning from OIA, the inquiry-based learning. What do you observe in the real world? Something connected with online privacy. Okay, take some example and read the story from newspaper in Macau. A lot of privacy example true. And then ask question, interpretation. What does this example mean? What have the individual or the victim in the story done to deserve this? Okay? Or what can we do not to deserve this? What can we do to prevent this from happening? And then lessons learned is, given the situations of intellect, when everybody can get online that easily and get connected that easily, what can we do to reduce the possibility of this kind of instance? All right? So I would like Ryan to share with us next time the Facebook stuff. Now, I would like to open the floor for 5 minutes. Anyone who would like to come here to share with us some of your learning, even though you've not signed up, you're free to come up here, all right? Keep that as a record of your classroom participations. You just need to raise your hand and then everything will be said. So in the meantime, the second topic we would like to introduce to you this week, week number 5, it's encryptions, okay? Encryptions. So what is meant by encryptions?
Today, with companies transmitting an increasing amount of information over the internet, more and more sensitive business data is put at risk. It's now easier than ever for you and your employees to send information from a laptop, phone, or other computer anywhere you go. And that also means that your data is more open to attack by hackers and thieves. Managed service providers and IT management companies use a variety of methods to help keep critical business data safe, including data encryption. These companies use data encryption as an advanced security tool to ensure the protection and confidentiality of your important information. So what exactly does encryption mean? Data encryption is a key part of any business's IT security plan. Simply put, encryption means to put data into a kind of secret code in order to protect it and disguise it. Only a person or a computer who understands the code will be able to decipher the information. In terms of data protection, encryption is vital in keeping your confidential information protected and secure. When you send sensitive information such as credit card or bank account numbers over the internet, you want that information to be inaccessible if it gets into the wrong hands. Therefore, encryption works to hide this information from anyone who shouldn't have access to it. Codes have been used for hundreds of years to send sensitive information. Today, computer-generated algorithms are guides for encryption. They provide a way to create a message and secure it much more effectively than a human-created code. When it comes to encryption, there are many different levels available. In general, the higher the encryption level or complexity of the code used, the safer your information will be. High encryption levels protect you against brute force attacks in which thieves or hackers use a computer program to simply try out various combinations of characters to see if they are able to crack the code. Higher levels of encryption increase the number of possibilities that must be tried to access a particular document, account, or file. So, 128-bit encryption is much more secure against brute force attack than a 40-bit encryption, and a 256-bit encryption is stronger than 128-bit. When it comes down to it, data encryption provides an important layer of protection for a business's data. Encryption technology is available for both on-site and off-site storage, providing peace of mind and security for data regardless of where it's located or what happens to it. Working with a professional IT services company like ours will help ensure your data is properly encrypted. Contact us today to learn more about keeping all of your critical business information protected and secure.
Well, although this is a commercial advertisement produced by this company, they sell their services, but I do believe that they have already invested a lot to put key messages into this promotional video to help you understand what is meant by encryption. You know that, right? From reading the video, is basically one method for us to convert something which is plain as a language to something which is secret as a language. So if I say I love you, I, if I change to J, J, L change to M, O change to P, V change to X. Alright? So we have encrypted message instead of I love you, maybe J something. You don't understand, you don't know the key. So data encryption is one method the industry have used to ensure that whatever private personal information that you submit for kind of proper purposes will be protected under the domain of the company, or that what we call the ethically responsible company. Okay? You know that a lot of companies are set up in order to collect data and then they sell the data. Do you know the famous example of selling your personal data in Hong Kong? It's your octopus card company. You know, in Hong Kong, you have the octopus card. Okay? The CEO, the former CEO of that octopus card company, a lady, committed a very great mistake. They actually sold the customer's data to marketing company for millions of dollars in return. And because of that, she resigned. It's cheaper for her just to resign. So you need to take a legal responsibility. You see that? You buy an octopus card, you fill up the form. You have a lot of private data there, including your bank account, your savings account, how much money you have, and then you just took the data and sell it to marketing company. Not ethical, actually. I don't know what's going to happen to Macau's top, but you have to be very careful. All right. So I think that's it for today. We have 5 minutes left. I would like to make sure that within that 5 minutes, if you have a question, you come and ask me, and please help to run this class smoothly. I'm not the person who's going to design everything. Fill up the questionnaire for Learning Content number 1, and I want to show you your feedback. Okay, and we're trying to take a look at the overall feedback and see what we can do and adjust and to help to learn. The purpose of this class is to help to learn, to gain the ability to learn on your own by walking through and doing the step of learning through the learning contract. It's impossible that we do not have anything for you to do, but it's reasonable in that amount of time. Okay, if you do it, it's your ability in the development. All right. So I'm here. So if you have a question, you can ask me. If not, you're free to go. All right. Let's say that we have any other comment. Now remember, talk to your learning partner. Come up with your peer's perspective here. and type in before next class, okay? Do you agree online privacy is there? All right? So let me stop the video first. So that's it for today's CISG 113 Section 1 Information Security and Privacy on September 22nd, 2014, week number 5 into the semester. Until this first day, stay in tune.